panel discussion session. And the theme for our panel discussion session is New Industrialization to Unleash Global Economic Growth. And we would like to invite our panel members, and that is our keynote speakers, to proceed on stage again to participate in the panel discussion session. And let's invite our panelists to come up on stage after the setup, the simple setup. Okay, may I invite our keynote speaker to proceed on stage again to participate in this panel discussion session. First of all is Professor Xiang Li, Associate Professor, Department of Automation, Tsinghua University. And then is Professor Zhang Li, President, Institute of Climate Change and Sustainable Development, Tsinghua University. And Mr. Alex Ng, CEO and Technical Consultant of BBAST Technology Limited. And Mr. Maximo Trioni, the Senior Vice VP, to come up on stage again. And of course, our moderator for this session, Mr. Edmund Lai, Chief Digital Officer of HKPC, to host this session for us. And then I will pass the time to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Betty. So good afternoon, everyone. So in this session, we will have a discussion with our four keynote speakers to talk about how to make use of new industrialization to unleash economic growth. And just to recap, new industrialization is referring to smart industry, which are not just focusing on maximizing economic value, but also taking into considerations of environmental protection, resources consumption, and sustainable development for people and the society. And new industrialization is one of the key themes for Hong Kong to drive further economic growth. I have a few questions for the panelists to get your insights. So, as you know, technology is still a very critical element in new industrialization. So my first question to the panelists is, which emerging technologies and innovations are driving new industrialization? And what unique opportunities does new industrialization present for economic growth? And Alex, if you don't mind, because I've seen you are the expert in Industry 4.0, so maybe you can share what do you think about this?
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Edmund. Actually, I take part in the industry for more than 25 years. My first job around maybe 25 years ago is working in Motorola Semiconductor Hong Kong. And I would like to share about the first question is I think at that moment in the coming future is the new energy and the new materials and the biotechnology will become the emerging technology in the coming future. But I think one now already have many enterprises that take part in this field. Yeah. And also is the intelligence interconnection between the human, machines, and resources. As well as digitalization and networking and intelligence in manufacturing become very, very dominant. One now many people thinking about for the intelligent manufacturing link up together with the intelligent service. That means the market and the manufacturing link up together. 10 years before or 20 years before, there's a disconnection between the market and the manufacturing. That creates a very big problem is the waste of resources. Yeah. And right now, because of the big data and the digitalization and the server, cloud, so many kinds of the analytical tools will become helpful to the human being to make things much more smooth, to reduce the waste of resources. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. And Massimo, what about you? Can you share your view with us?
Sure. From my point of view, when we talk about emerging technology, I mean, we talked during the discussion about robotic and robot, but we're still thinking that we have a lot of things to do there. And so from my point of view, even for our industries, for me, robotics and 3D printing and IoT, Internet of Things, are very important technology that are growing, but at the moment are not where they should be. Think about robots. They are better than the past, more sophisticated. They are helping a lot the manufacturing. They can do even operation that the human cannot do, and avoiding injury that in the past we had. This is helping a lot now the manufacturing company. If we talk about 3D printing, this is something really useful, especially for the R&D. When develop a new product with this kind of technology, compared with the past, we are able already to discover problem, and we can have solution in advance, not like in the past that we develop something and then we discover later when it's too late, and then we with extra cost and so on. And the IoT, Internet of Things, is a lot of industry now they are using, and even in manufacturing and in car industries. This help a lot to interface a lot of technology, and you can have real data, so the company can use these numbers, this data, to control the productivity, the efficiency, and they know immediately where they should go to improve, to avoid, to have a better financial result. This is my opinion.
Thank you, Massimo. And Professor Li Zhengshou, do you also have any comment on this one?
Professor Li.
Sorry,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. So I think I have expressed some ideas in my presentation already. So in my opinion, I think digital technology, new material technology, and the new energy material technologies are three pillars that support the new industrialization. So because of them, the economy could grow in a less resources consuming and environmental friendly and low carbon way. So and among them, I'm familiar with renewable energy, new energy. So I think I would like to point out they promote, they bring unique opportunities for the society to proceed. So the use of renewable energy makes energy system green and low carbon and more resources safe. So energy security globally is a big concern now. So I think they help that. And at the present, as I mentioned, China's energy system is dominated by fossil energy, and so does US and most of the countries in the world. So the application of new energy technologies will revert our energy systems from current 15 to 85 to 15. So that's bring great chances. That's first point. And I did mention that nowadays the installation of wind power, solar power, grows very fast. So last year, China has installed 120 gigawatt capacity, and in the next years there will be more. So I think this is the big chances. And then secondly, according to the estimation of my institute, as I mentioned, the investment for new energy system is 140 trillion RMB, and plus the demand side investment, the total could be 200 trillion. So there's big chances. So I just borrowed the concept of the kitchen. So we will have a green kitchen that can cook new high nutrition, high quality food, and high valuable food. This will bring the country competitiveness. This is roughly my idea.
Yeah, for sure. Because this is really the green portions of the new industrializations is actually creating a lot of huge opportunity for many different industries as well. Because on one side of it is that all the different traditional industry need to upgrade, and the other side of it is create huge demand so that the supply side will need to catch up and provide a lot of new opportunity for them. And Professor Xiang Li, so you mentioned about the human-robots interface. So maybe you can share with us a little bit more about how is this going to impact the overall new industrializations in terms of how is it driving the development trend of new industrialization? Will it be like going forward, humans just need to work with robots? So it's kind of our colleagues beside human is actually also robots. Any further comment on this one?
Okay, thanks for the great point. Yes, since I'm doing something about the robotics, I would say that in the future, the robot will play definitely a more and more important role in this kind of a new trade. And previously, maybe the robot is definitely working in an isolated or independent environment, means that there's no co-working between the robot and the human. I would say in the future, the robot will have the collaborative feature. What is the collaborative feature? Means that the robot can co-work with the human workers. And also we say that the robot can learn from the human worker during the common robot collaboration. And also we would say that this can combine the advantages between the human ability and the human knowledge, which is more safe and efficient. So the collaboration system, as we mentioned before, can better combine the advantages of the human knowledge and also the robot ability. As I mentioned in my talk, the robot mainly has the high repetition and also have a very high precision, and also can work for 24 hours. And the human also has the advantage at the current stage. The human can have a strong learning ability for the new task. The human can have a smart decision in complex scenarios, and the human can adapt to things. So I believe in the future we should think about a framework that can combine the robot ability and the human knowledge. How can we use this kind of framework? Maybe I think at the beginning we can think about some applications that the human involvement is necessary. For example, in my talk, I give some examples about the human-robot co-manipulation. And also there's a scanning robot where the robot is going to work with doctors. So I believe in those applications, the human involvement is necessary. So back to my comment, I think firstly we can think about something which the human involvement is necessary to plan our human-robot collaboration. Yeah,
Thank you. And Alex, I want to hear also from your side, what do you think is some of the key trends and development on new industrialization? And especially, how can a country prepare to harness these new trends for the economic growth? With your experience, so share something with us.
My experience is I take part in the industrial field already have more than 25 years. And I think the key trends maybe is platform type and modularization type in the coming future. Just like Industrial 4.0 is one of the platform economy. Yeah. And take my example, my experience is one of the examples. 10 years before, I have almost 30 engineers, that including the teams of follow-up after sales, maybe 10 engineers are doing this job. And then every day, tailor-made projects will have many different kinds of material, different kind of structure, different kind of even robot. Yeah, mix up together and then integrate together to perform some projects. Finally, I think it is a very waste of resources, something like that. So after a very deep, in-depth explorations about this problem, I try to simplify all of the things, including the management and the team and the design methodology to make it a platform and template formats. Finally, right now, I diminish the teams to around 20 engineers, but we are the opposite comparable to the 100 engineers in all enterprises. Yeah, this is my very, very in-depth experience. Yeah.
Thank you, Alex. And so you touch a little bit, but for any opportunities that present, there are always challenges that we need to overcome because every change, people may be resistant to it, etc. So what are some of the primary challenges for a country that may face when they are transitioning into the new industrialization, and how can they be addressed? And Massimo, so I want to hear from you because your story talk about a challenge and how you overcome it. So how do we apply it to a country setting?
We had this kind of experience. I'm still having because we try to upgrade our technology. And the first challenge is people, because part of our employees, we have to train to use the new technology. So normally this is addressed to the company first, because it's company responsibility to do this. So the company should consider when they develop the investment plan to upgrade the technology. So this is the first challenge for the company when they implement with new technology. But as we know, introducing the new technology, part of our employees, they cannot stay in the company. So we have the company, they are facing, a lot of companies are facing this kind of issue. So in this case, from my point of view, the government should support more the enterprises and help them. Maybe they can relocate the resources to other companies, to other activities. So this is why we have always balanced not immediately to change radically our company introducing new technology. We should do step by step. And another important point, because if we focus only to upgrade our technology, to increase productivity, to reduce cost, the risk is that we forget one of the main points, the sustainability. This is my point of view.
Very good point. So we need to make sure that people can follow along, I think, as a country as well, so we don't left behind people. And Professor Zheng Li, what's your view? Any other comment you want to add in terms of challenges and how to overcome them?
Okay, so my understanding is that the new industrialization is a kind that benights environment and the climate. So besides productivity, so the environmental ecology is very important. So I think one of the challenges many countries meet is lack of innovative technologies that can help to realize both the productivity target and also environmental target, like carbon neutrality. So for example, in power industry, it is necessary to solve the problem for high penetration of renewable energy into the grid. That's a common challenge for all countries. And there's also difficulty in establishing this inter-seasonal energy storage. If we solve that, that will be easier. And such kind of difficulties also exist in heavy industry like hydrogen steel making. Also, likely in transportation sector, we cannot find the ideal fuels for heavy transportation. for aviation, for navigation, etc. So I think the solution is international collaboration. And I have an example. So as I read, Nature magazine published an article on last October, so by Michael Davison from University of California, San Diego. And this article estimates that globalized PV module market have saved PV installers $24 billion in the United States, $7 billion in Germany, and $36 billion in China from 2008 to 2020, compared with a counterfactual scenario in which domestic manufacturers in each country supplies an increasing proportion of the installed capacity by themselves. Projecting the same scenario in the next 10 years from 2020, if countries do their own rather than doing from international market, then the price for PV modular may be 20 to 25% higher than using the global supply chain. So this evidence shows strongly international collaboration is important. And it is especially important in the current world, highly divided by geopolitics. So I'm really worrying.
Very good point. So sometimes some problems, we just need to solve it together rather than try to tackle on our own. So Professor Xiang Li, anything else you want to add?
Okay, we are talking about the problems. I believe as the AI and the robot move into the human society, in my opinion, the biggest challenge will be there's no systematic rule or framework to regulate the human and the robot. That is how the robot and the AI can behave properly in this new kind of framework. And in my opinion, the advances the AI and the robot should firstly obey the common rule of privacy or the conduct code. Then we can talk about whether this kind of new technology is the advantage and can be used to contribute to the human society and also can be used to improve the protection of the human life. Actually, people may all hear the ChatGPT. Actually, in the development of this ChatGPT, there are also two kinds of phases. And I believe in the first phase, we just make sure that the ChatGPT is more like kind of a human. The second stage is actually not limited to the technology. It's actually beyond the technology. So we have to make sure that the answer from the ChatGPT can actually accept the common sense in the human society. That is, the AI is wrongly under the rule of human society. So back to my comment, I think the development of ChatGPT can provide some clue for us. That is, we firstly have to make sure that there is a systematic rule or framework to the development of AI and the robot. If there is a contradiction between the current systematic rule and the new technologies, definitely we have to make sure that the robot and the AI should be more passive. Thanks.
Yeah. And so Alex, you mentioned about how you overcome a challenge with your company as example. So you have anything to add at the country level? So how will you advise Hong Kong when we are trying to get to that new industrialization journey? So besides producing the white Dolphin chocolate or biscuits, so what other advices you will have for us?
Thank you, sir. And actually, right now, the existing challenge for upgrading and transforming to higher level or high-end industrial is because of the phenomenon of the product homogenization is more too obvious, and competitions among the peers is intense. So how to upgrade the peoples to industrial higher level, and what we're talking about is a digitalized, and this is the industrial 4.0. Governments, I think, should put more training to the people who would like to change themselves. And many programs have to be introduced into the university to cooperate with some enterprises together to work out, just like Canada. Okay, for example, Cisco, they will work with some university together, and then to train up the coming students to be equipped in the society, and to keep the pace parallel with the improvement of the economics and technology. Yeah.
Now you touch on the topic of like training talents and helping people's development, which is one of the key challenge anyway, for any changes to happen, especially when we want to shift our economic development to new industrializations era. So we talk about some of that. So I'm wondering, besides at the company level, then of course we'll try to do a lot of things. But what about at the perhaps at the country level, or at least at the city level, what kind of policy or strategies that you think between the private sector or the public sector can do to help more on the talent development? Because nowadays, every country or every city is hungry for talents. And then besides just, we try to chase for talents from other cities to attract them over. So what about from the development side? Anything that you want to share, your opinion? So who want to start first?
Yeah, I will start.
Massimo?
From my point of view, the education should start at school, from my point of view. Each city or country should start, maybe not in university, even before the university, to train people, to teach people, to invite the people in the company to see the real situation. For me, this is important for the new generation. In this way, when they start working, they already know what they should do and what the world is expecting from them. This is one of the main points from my point of view. But anyway, I know that for the company can be a cost, and it's not easy sometimes. This is why the enterprises with the local government, they should discuss more. But I'm not worried about the big enterprises, because they've always benefit for that. I'm talking about the small and medium, because normally they suffer a lot about that, because they cannot do by themselves. They should have support from the government if they want to develop new talent. So this is why maybe they should focus more in the medium and small enterprises. Otherwise, they cannot develop by themselves, and will have this step forward if we still just focus in the big enterprises. This is my idea.
Yeah, very good point. And also that's why HKPC is always focusing on helping the small and medium enterprises to have more talents. Now, I want to turn this question also to two professors, Lee from Tsinghua University, because you are much closer to the education industry, and then you are impacting a lot of our future younger people. So what's your view? For a situation like Hong Kong, what from the policy or strategy point of view that we can do more?
Okay, thanks to Prof. Lee. Actually, from the robot side, I believe in the future we need two groups of people. So for the robot, the first group of people will definitely be the talent which can teach and let the robot learn from the people, and such that the robot will know how the human do the manipulation things, do the task. And the second group of people will be like the talent or the workers who knows how to co-working with the robot. So this kind of human-robot cooperation in this framework, maybe the people is just, or the talent is just in charge of the high-level planning, just plan the task for the robot, and also can deal with dynamic or the unforeseen changes, And the robot can also explore its advantage to do the repetitive and high precision task, and also allow the human workers to get involved in a safe and efficient manner. And how can look for such kind of talent? I believe we can put more effort definitely in the teaching system. That is, we can let the young people have more opportunities to explore and know the latest research progress in AI and robotics, and let them get familiar with the robot. And also, we also can encourage the people which is doing the research on the AI and the robotics to put more focus on the real problems, to solve the practical problems in the factories and in the field, not just the published papers. I believe it's more important to convert their research outcome to solve the practical problems. That's my comment. Thanks.
Thank you.
I thought I can say there's 3 levels. The first, so I'm an energy guy, so I take energy always as an example. So the industrial level. So currently, China has about 600 gigawatts renewable energy power. And in the future, we'll roughly, I think we can have about 4,000 to 5,000 new renewable power. So the skill side needed for traditional energy and for the new energy, there's a big gap. The training is important. The training is also important for justified transition. So in industry level, we do train our current workforces and also train the next workforces. So in the industrial level, and then in the national level. Tsinghua University have considered that, and we have established an institute for carbon neutrality. That means for realizing the climate target, we need multi-discipline, high-level researchers and engineers. So we set up this institute to work out technologies as well as to discipline, to cultivate professionals in all disciplines. And thirdly, globally, maybe you know, I'm the Secretary General of the Global University Alliance on Climate. So we have totally 15 members from 6 continents, 9 countries. So our members, including the traditional Ivy universities, like legal university, like MIT, like Oxford. We also have leading universities from Tsinghua University from China, like Rio University from Brazil, etc. So we emphasize a lot for cultivating global leaders. They have climate knowledge, and they have a high-level education. So they could be the future leaders. So I just give you the example of 3 levels.
Yeah, very good, very structured way to develop the talents. So Alex, we have a few more minutes left. Any further comment on these questions?
Actually, I think Hong Kong can be take the reindustrializations again. Repeat the billion future, just like 30 years before. By how to do this? Maybe it's in the innovation, R&D investment by the government to invest much more to support the institutions work together with the corporate enterprises, and also I also emphasize put more efforts in the educational aspects. For example, maybe encouraging the university have a joint project, joint research with some big giant company in Hong Kong, and then, for example, for the AI, VR, and metaverse, something like that. which is the digital economies in the coming future, and becomes a very good opportunities for Hong Kong coming youngest there.
Thank you, Alex. So once again, I want to thank Massimo, to Professor Lee, and also Alex for joining the panel discussion today. So very good insight from all of you, and hopefully, some of these insights can help to inspire the audience, whether they are in person here or through the web joining us, to work on the journey of new industrialization and helping Hong Kong and also the global economy to get to the next level. Thank you.